is Erin Stutts, and I'm a member of A&M United Methodist Church. I go to the Ecclesia service with my family, my son Braden and Garrett and my husband Kyle, and we typically sit at the back of the church. We are going to share with you a little bit about our cattle today. We are blessed with 11 acres that we live on and a small herd of red Brangus cattle that the boys show, and so we're going to talk to you about those. This is Sky. Hey Sky. And Tessa and Raquel and Scarlett and Twink over there. And so Braden is bringing them up to the barn for their evening feeding. Typically we do that on bicycle at our house. We've got an electric fence that's separating where I'm standing from the cattle. So Braden takes the electric fence through a gate and goes and finds the heifers wherever they are out in the front pasture. And we'll bring them up and measure the feed and get them fed their evening meal. We typically try to do this at the same time every evening. It's real important for the digestive system to be fed at about the same time every evening. In the evenings, the boys typically work and practice showing their cattle. Braden has Sky and Garrett has Raquel out right now. Kyle's helping them. Something that you'll notice is the brands on the side of the cattle. We've got the Dos X's, the 2X's, that's our family brand. And then Sky has a 10, 11, and then an 8 underneath it. So the way our family does it is brand on their date of birth. So that tells us that she was born on October 11th of 2018. And these are red Brangus heifers. Brangus cattle are a mixture of Brahman. Brahman cattle are the ones with the hump and the floppy ears. And Angus. Angus are black, or they can be red, and they're the ones known for making really good beef. And so Brangus is a mixture of the two. So that's why you see a little bit of a hump, but not much, and some cute floppy ears. These are heifers, and that means that they're females. Sky is pregnant. She will have her first calf this fall. One of the things we work on is getting the heifers to learn to hold their head nice and high, the way Braden's doing that with Sky right now. She looks proud. Little scratches there. Hi, Sky. Garrett's working with Raquel. Raquel is tall and has some long legs and a pretty face. Her brand tells me that she was born on March 20th of 2019, so she's a year and a few months old. This is just a fun little picture of Sky and Scarlett out in our front pasture. I love the way Sky is licking Scarlett's head. This is a picture I took last week when we were at the Texas Junior Brangus Breeders Association show. These are the cattle in the stall. They're just resting, they're relaxed, they're happy, and they are getting ready to be shown. To get the cattle ready to show, we wash them. This is the wash racks, and we tie them up and get a hose and get some soap and wash them just like you would wash a dog, only a lot bigger. After they are washed, we blow dry them. We have a big blow dryer. This is Bryce Thomas, who you may know from church, and he is helping Braden blow dry Sky in this picture. Get them all dried and ready for the show ring.
Intro 11 by Gary Stutts, and Intro 12 also written by Gary Stutts.
So let me walk you through what happens in the show ring. So both of these heifers that Braden is showing and that Garrett is showing are owned by Garrett. Braden is showing Tessa and Garrett is showing Raquel. And this is the first time that the boys have shown either one of these heifers. So the judge is the man in the blue shirt with the tie, and he's walking around right now and he's asking the exhibitors how old the animals are. Heifers are shown by age groups, so these are all very similar ages. He's taking a quick look at them, looking at them from all sides. He's going to come back around and take another look, and then the exhibitors are going to walk the heifers. And he's going to take a look at what they look like in motion as they're walking. So you'll notice these are all red Brangus heifers. The kids have turned around and they are going to walk their heifer in front of the judge. He's looking to make sure that they walk correctly. He's looking at how their feet hit the ground, how their hips move. So he's standing back. He's going to take a look. You'll notice that the exhibitors are holding what's called a show stick, and that's what they use to scratch the belly of the heifers. They're wearing what's called an exhibitor harness. It's the black thing that both you see Braden and Garrett with right there, and it has their exhibitor number in the front. If you've ever seen a running race, runners have a number on them, and so on that exhibitor harness, they have their number on it. That way the announcer knows what the name of the kid is. He can look at his sheet and look. And so they're going to walk the heifers to the back of the show ring and then set them up so that the judge can look at them from the side. Other people in the ring, you see the man in the red shirt with the big camera. He's taking pictures. There's a couple of other young people with jeans and a gray shirt. They're all in jeans and a gray shirt since this is that's what they wore for this show. You see Garrett's just moved his heifer around in a little circle because she didn't set up the way he wanted her to the first time. So he just reset her up, and she did a beautiful job that time. Good job, Garrett and Raquel. And what the judge is going to do next is he's going to pull out the heifers and place them in order from first place to, in this case, fourth place, since there's only 4 heifers in this class. So let's see who he pulls out first. He's making his final selections and his final decisions. And look, he pulled Tessa. Now Tessa is owned by Garrett, but Braden is showing her today since both boys were in the same class and Garrett can't show 2 heifers at one time. So he's going to put Tessa in the lineup first, and then somebody else's heifer in second. And then Garrett and Raquel are going to go third, and then someone else and a different heifer are going to go fourth.
Nice class of red Brangus females, and some differences in these 4 cattle out here. I think they have her in my mind that wins the class in terms of how she's built, her soundness, and how she hits the ground each and every time, and then her fullness out through her body cavity, and then some width of face that still puts it in an attractive package. I think she's a female that wins this class for me, and she puts those things together.
So you just heard the judge talk about what he liked about Tessa, and he'll go through and talk about each of the animals and what he likes about them, and then they will leave the show ring. Since Tessa got first place in this class, she gets to come back and compete for the division. And she ended up winning Reserve Champion Division. And so let me show you a picture of her at the backdrop along with the awards that Garrett won from Tessa being first in her class and the Reserve Division Champion. So this is what's called a backdrop picture. And so this is Garrett holding Tessa, and then Braden is holding the prizes. She won that bag for winning the class and the boot bag for division. This show had a really fun event called Pee Wee Showmanship. And so here is Bryce Thomas and Braden Stutts getting ready to show together. And here's Bryce with the show stick, and this is Tessa, the heifer. And Bryce got to go in the show ring. You see his number 3, and he got to walk her around and show Tessa just like the big kids do. And part of it was that there's a judge, and here's the judge who's asking him questions about the heifer and talking to him about it. And here is his little brother Holden watching him in the show ring. And Bryce got to take his very own backdrop picture. So there's Braden and Garrett and Bryce. I said in the beginning that God has blessed us with these acres to live on and the cattle to take care of. And one of the things that we have to do is make sure that they always have plenty to eat and to drink. And so here's Garrett at the show filling up a water bucket. And he is going to be giving that water bucket to his bull. This is Wild Card. Wildcard is a bull, which means he's a boy, and he actually lives at Garrett's grandfather's ranch, which is between Navasota and Brenham. And Wildcard isn't real sure that he wants that water right this very minute, but it's important to us to offer it to him and to make sure he has plenty to drink. And he is going to get to be shown in just a minute. Here is Kyle putting the show halter on Wildcard. The show halter is a leather halter that fits around their ears, and it'll go under his chin. And then the bulls have a nose ring. You see that nose ring on him. They have to have that to go into the show ring, and it gives the exhibitor a little more control. But the bulls are really tame. In our experience, the bulls are easier than the heifers to show and to halter break, and they're just pretty big and tame and kind of lazy a little bit. And sometimes we have to get the exhibitor's hair ready too. So there's Kyle brushing Garrett's hair. And here they are in the show ring. So Garrett's walking Wildcard in. You see that the bull is bigger than the heifers. This is still a young bull. And the judge is going to go around and take a look. This is the division champion. So Wildcard won his class, and now he's up for division. And Wildcard ended up getting reserve champion division. So what happens in a cattle show is there are classes, and then there are divisions, and then there's the overall. So all the animals that win first or second in a class go in the ring to be the division winner. And there's a champion and a reserve champion of each division, and then those go in the ring to be the overall champion. So what we had today were some division reserve champions, but not the overall champions. But still, to be a division reserve champion, we were pretty happy with that. It was a good day at the cattle show. Here we are inside the barn. This is a barn that we built with the help of Jeremy Wilson, who some of you guys may know. He's worked at our church for many years and grew up in our church. And so we have 3 stalls that we sort the heifers into. Braden is going to be putting on halters, and we're going to be practicing our showing for a little bit. And then Garrett is measuring out feed. So to measure feed, we have a bucket and a scale. Each heifer is on a different feed regimen. So he is measuring out the feed rations for each of the heifers. He pours it into a bucket, and then we top it with a little bit of vitamins and mix it up and feed it to them. So Braden's going to be haltering his heifer Sky. These heifers we got when they were about 6 months old. Sky is about 1.5 years old now. She's been with us for a little over a year. Braden's had pretty good success with her, showing her. She was grand champion Red Brangus at the state fair and grand champion at the San Antonio Livestock Show. So she's a pretty good heifer for us. I want to thank you for watching and learning a little bit more about our cattle. Here is a sunset at our house. If you can see, we have a deer feeder out in our front pasture, and there are a couple of deer right out front. We feel very, very lucky to live on this property and to live on God's green earth and to get to see these sunsets and to take care of the deer. And we have pigeons and we have bees and the cattle. And I invite you to reach out to us anytime. If you wanted to take a visit to the country, feel free to look us up. You can find us sitting at the back of Ecclesia service. And please come introduce yourself, and we're happy to show you around and to teach you a little bit more about what we do. Thank you, and you have a great week, and God bless you.